Hey guys, DriveShaftDREW here. How y'all doing today? Anyways, tonight on my way home from work, I had a little issue with my truck. Yeah. Anyways, what ended up happening is I was coming home, and for some reason my check engine light came on, and I never thought much about it. And then I ran into a train, and no, not literally, but there's a train crossing, so I stopped. And as I was sitting at the train crossing, I noticed that my air conditioner seemed to be slowing down a little bit and stuff. And I thought, well, geez, I guess it's just that it's the low idle of my truck. So I figured, okay, not a big deal. And then the train went by, and as I drove away, all of a sudden my ABS light went on. And I thought, well, geez, that's a weird thing to happen. So anyways, then the ABS light went off, so I figured, okay, no big deal. And then I was about, I guess, 2 miles from home, and all of a sudden I noticed my tach stopped working. And I thought, well, what the heck? You know, my tach's not working, but yet the truck's running and driving. It must be some kind of short or something, I'm thinking. And then all of a sudden my radio reset to 2016. I'm thinking, like, what the heck? The radio reset, you know? And I noticed my air conditioning was starting to slow down again, so I shut the air conditioning off. And maybe it's a lucky thing I did, because by the time I got home, the truck was barely running, and it was on like, I guess, what do they call it? Starvation mode or whatever it is, or that. There was no power, and everything was shutting down on me, and I was like, what the heck? So by the time I backed it into the garage and shut it, I never shut it down right away. I grabbed my multimeter, and I just checked the battery. I was at 8.6 volts. So I've got a suspicion that it's probably the alternator that calved. So I just put it on a charger for now. And basically, right now it's on the charger. And I'll show you guys here. It's just on the charger. So, camera angle. Whatever. Anyway, it's on a charger. And I'm going to start it up, and I'm going to check the alternator and see what exactly is going on. So bear with me while I grab my multimeter and stuff. Okay, I grabbed the multimeter here. And the first thing I did notice is that my battery cables are quite dirty, so that could have something to do with it. So we're going to have to check that out. For now, I'm going to just stick you guys up in here. Okay, and we're going to just do a few tests here. So I'll grab the multimeter and turn it on. This is the first step. And then what you want to do is you want to get into the DCV voltage, because that's automotive voltage. Okay, and then first thing I'm going to do is just check my battery here. I don't know if you, hopefully you guys can see this. If you can't, I'm sorry. So I got 12.7 volts on the battery right now, which is low, considering it's on the charger. But we're going to see if I can get this thing started. We're going to check the alternator and stuff. So, bear with me a second here. I'm just going to turn on this other camera. Here. Just to make sure this is plugged in proper, which it is. Okay, so now just before I start it up, I'm just going to do a quick run here. Just to make sure this is plugged in proper, which it is. So there's no problem there. And yeah, 12.7 volts here as well. So that tells me the wiring between the battery and this are fine. So we're going to see if it'll start up now. Okay, so we are started. So now let's just see what the voltage is on the battery now. See if the alternator is actually working or not. So I'm actually losing voltage. I'm 11.19 now that I turned it over. So obviously, if the alternator is working, I should be getting like a 14.6 here. So let's go check the alternator over here. And see what we got for reading here. I know you guys can't see the meter. I'm sorry about that. But you want to go out to this positive terminal right here at the alternator, and right to the alternator to ground. The 1144. So that tells me I got nothing coming to the alternator at all. So yes, I would definitely say I have an alternator problem. So I'm going to have to pick up an alternator, and we will be changing it out. But yeah, no power at all to the alternator. So we're going to do one more test here. You just go onto the positive terminal here and the negative terminal on the battery. 11.43, same thing. So yeah, and there's one, so I got a good connection. Just go onto the positive terminal here and the negative terminal on the battery. 11.43, same thing. So yeah, and there's one, so I got a good connection. So obviously it's the battery itself, guys. Or not the battery, it's the alternator itself that's bad. So there you go. That shows you guys how to test the alternator. Hopefully the video that I have will show you guys that. Shut this off. I'm going to leave it on the charger, but what I am going to do is take off the old alternator and go get a new one. So it is what it is, and that's the way we're going to have to do it. I'll just leave this here for now. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to want to do is disconnect my negative cable, because you don't want the battery hooked up when you're playing with an alternator. So that's the first thing we're going to be doing. I'm just going to let the camera run and I'll edit it as I need to. So we're going to just take this off for now. We don't need the charger on when I'm playing with it, so we're going to just disconnect it for now. Keep charging later. So basically take off your negative post on your battery. I got to take these off and clean them anyway because they're really dirty. So that's something we're going to have to do. Yeah, it looks like I need 2 wrenches. Oh man, looks like I might be putting some new battery posts on here too. These are pretty rotten out. Yeah, she's not coming, but it is loose. So. There you go. Okay, so then what you want to do is make sure you tuck this out of the way because you don't want it touching by accident at all. In the meantime, I'm going to let this battery charge because now it's not going to hurt anything to be connected. And we're going to start pulling off this alternator. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to disconnect this and this air box that got easy access to it. It looks like a couple of 8mm or 7mm and a couple of hookups. Should be simple enough to do. Just throw these in my back pockets now. Okay, so it basically loosen off these 3 bolts at the top here, which I just done, and you just take the whole thing off and get it out of the way for a moment. So just put it down there. And then you got a couple of different ways of doing this. I think the easiest one might be to just disconnect the clips, if I can remember how. Oh, come on. There's snap clips. There we go. Push down. That comes out. What I'm going to do is just take off this whole breather system here. This is the one electrical wire, one pipe here. You just pull out of the way. And then basically there's going to be one clamp. So we just grab like a 5/16. I'll do this clamp. Enough to get it off. And then this whole thing just comes out of the way. So it's pretty simple to do. And now I got full access to my alternator. Just gonna stay in there. Okay, so there's a tensioner on here that takes like a 3/8 ratchet. Just pull it back and we can loosen off the belt, simple enough. So I'll grab a ratchet there. Okay, so with the 3/8 ratchet, you just want to get in here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but there's a spot for the ratchet down there. Hang on, make sure it's going the right way. A little bit tough to get at. Get the fat fingers. Should be pulled. No, that's the other way. Yeah, the band sort of gets in the way here. Oh, tight fit. Haha. I wish I had a longer ratchet handy, but I don't. I do have a special tool for this. Actually, let me see if I can find it. Give me a minute. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that pipe right there, but I had to put that pipe on my ratchet to pull the tensioner so I can loosen off the belt. But now the belt is loosened off. Like I say, this pipe right here just took on my ratchet so I could move the tensioner because I just couldn't get in there with my hand. But anyway, I got it off, so that's it. Now, as far as the rest of this goes, there's one little clip here for this wire you want to pull off. There we go. And that disconnects that wire out of the way. And then there's two connector clips here you can see, and power. So I'll just grab a little clip puller or a little screwdriver. There's two connector clips here you can see, and power. So I'll just grab a little clip puller or a little screwdriver. There's this I believe is a 10 mil here. Yep. Okay. So you just got to take off this 10 mil nut to loosen this off. Sometimes it's easier just to turn the socket than just to try and ratchet the ratchet, so, depending on the situation. So basically take the nut off, and then there's the wire. You just pop the wire off, and it's not that dirty, but I'll clean it before I put on the new one, that's for sure. So we'll put this here for a second. Now, as far as these other ones go, I can use just a clip like this, a little multi-tool like this, or a little flat screwdriver. Whichever one works the best for you. Because this one here, you can just get in here and pop it right off, just like that. And then this one should be pretty much the same idea. This one might be better with the screwdriver, we'll see. Yeah, probably better off with a little screwdriver on that one, yeah. And that pops out of there. So then you disconnect your wires, okay? And then the only thing left now is there's three, I believe they're 13 millimeter bolts. I'll have to go grab a socket and a ratchet. We'll pull out the three 13 millimeter bolts and the alternator will come off. So let's grab. Now I believe these are 13, so let's find out real quick. Yep. Oh, they shouldn't be that tight, but they are. Wow. There we go. Oops, there goes my nut. I'll pick that up after. So that's the top one here, and I'll have to grab an extension, I guess, to get the bottom one. Bear with me again. Yeah, so for the bottom ones, you just want to grab a ratchet with an extension on it. It makes it a lot easier to try to fight with it. Oh, either really tight. I don't know why they're so tight, but that one's free. Basically, okay. Okay, so what with all three bolts out, guys, just a matter of moving this aside for now and picking up the old alternator, and we're out. So now we gotta go buy a new one. But anyway, we're just gonna leave everything where it is for tonight. I gotta pick up the new alternator, and tomorrow we'll put it back on. So that's it for now, people. Okay guys, as you can see, I went and picked up a new alternator here, and I picked up new battery posts, and I also, with the battery posts, I picked up the little felts that go underneath them, and that helps protect it from acid and stuff like that. So there's a red one, and there's a little black felt. So I got brand new battery posts and a brand new alternator, and we are going to install that here in a few minutes. So we'll continue from there. Alrighty, so as you guys can see, I did get the new alternator, and we are going to reinstall the alternator now. So there's the alternator. Just slide it back into position, and basically grab a couple of bolts. Okay. Up, get them started. Okay, when you go to put this one on, you gotta make sure you catch this clip. I hope you guys can see this. Basically, it's just the reverse to taking it off. You just reverse it and put it back on, so not that difficult. Just make sure you get all three of them started good before you start cranking on it. And remember, these three bolts are supposed to be at 35 foot-pounds. For some reason, the ones I took off must have been like more like 100 foot-pounds, but they were really super tight. But, okay, so we got to do torque them to 35 foot-pounds where they're supposed to be. There we go. So those are all torqued up. Alrighty. I cleaned off this wire, as you can see, and we're just going to stick it back in there where she belongs. Put the little 10mm nut on it. Getting rid of my fat fingers. Alrighty, once you get all your wires back into place, it's just the two that clip in here, the one 10mm one, and the one that fits down in this little latch for your breather. You got those, and then you just re-hook up your belt the same way you took it off. You put your belt back on, and the alternator is installed, guys. Now we just have to put the breather system back on and put this back together here. So, while I'm at it, gonna check my air filter. It's still pretty clean, as you can see. Not that bad at all. A little teeny bit dirty, but not bad. We'll worry about that in the next tune-up. So we'll put the air filter back in. Okay. And reverse taking it off. start with the rubber boot. Get into position. Put the gearbox in. Knock it down. Make sure the two clips catch. There's a pipe that goes in here between. Get your boot pipe back on. Make sure that's on there proper. And then the one plug for the canister clip. And basically, you grab yourself a 5/16, which I don't have handy. I'll have to go pick up because I put it away somewhere, I guess. But anyways, 5/16 to tighten up the clamp, and then put on that top cover, and we're done. So just give me a moment here, and I'll see if I can find my 5/16, guys. Okay, so we got my 5/16. Tighten up this clamp. I'm probably right in you guys' way, but this just got to be snug on there. As simple as porcupine pie. Okay. And you grab a mill. And we can put the top cover back on. Just line it up. Get 3 holes. Get it started with just the socket itself, just so you're lined up. Okay. Okay, I'll just find my ratchet and tighten those up. Hang on. Okay, so the alternator's in, guys. The only thing I have to do now is clean up my battery, put new posts on, and basically test it out. So I'm going to clean up the battery, put new posts on, and anybody can pretty much do that. You can see there's 2 bolts. Pull out the wire, 1 bolt, pull it off, put the new one on, put it back together, clean it all up. So anybody can do that. I'm not going to show that on video, but once I'm done that, then we'll start it up and I'll show you how to retest again. So for now, we're going to stop the video. Okay, so as you can see, I cleaned out the batteries. I put new ends on it, cleaned them all up. So the batteries are cleaned up, alternator all hooked up, belts all hooked up. Now the time to find out if it works. So, jump in the truck here, open the big garage door to let some air in. Okay, what I want you guys to do is watch this gauge here. If this gauge jumps up, then we do good. That moves. That noise you hear? My headlights. And there you go. She's charging. According to that, you guys can see that gauge. So she's definitely charging. And it's always riding there. It never ever has changed. It rides right there, just about dead center. So I know it's charging. So now what we'll do is we'll put the multimeter on her. And we'll just find out for sure if we're charging. 14.29 volts. That tells me that this alternator is definitely 100% for sure charging. And my battery is 100% for sure charging. So there you go, 14.29. Now what I'm going to do is go over here. And I'm going to do a test right off the alternator. I think that's something to stand on. Yeah, stand it up right down. I'll see if you guys can see it from there. So right at the alternator itself, you're running 14.36. So there you go. You can see that, it's 14.36. Okay? Now if I go right to the negative, 14.34. So there you go. And if I go here, I should get a 1 or 0.1. 0.5, so that's even better. That means that I got a really good connection all the way through. Everything's working 100%. So we're going to call this a video, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.